Every generation thinks music has peaked in their day, just like every generation thinks they've invented.
Sorry, I cut that last part off, but I suck at this app. What he goes on to say is that every generation also thinks they invented rock and roll debauchery, but them folks from the 18th century really had it down to a fine art form, which I agree with. Thing is, I think about this a lot, not just debauchery, which I do think about a lot, but this idea that every generation thinks that their music was the pinnacle of music forever. And I think about this in terms of music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I can't help but think, yes, it did peak then. Pop music, rock music did peak during those decades. And you know what that does? That makes me old man screaming at clouds. That makes me old man saying, get the hell off of my musical lawn. But when I take the jaded musician out of this train of thought, what I come to is the same conclusion all the time. And that is that rock music simply isn't the popular music form of this generation. There are still rock bands. They are still out there. There's still people plugging in their guitars and cranking up their Marshalls to 10 and getting it done. We just don't hear about them as much as we used to, and it's just not the popular art form that it used to be. And again, I keep going back to this idea of curation, that back in those decades, there were curators of cool. There were people who told you, listen to this band because they are cool. And I am cool, so you will listen to me. Those people were program directors. They were editors at fanzines. They were people who built up trust in their opinions, and people listened to them. And today we might call those people influencers, right? But influencers are promising you a lifestyle. They're promising you an entire vibe. You can have all of this and be happy like me. Whereas a curator was just say, hey, this is cool. It's going to give you an orgasm. I don't know. All of this is maybe just to say that I'm thinking about curating, thinking about being a curator, and that maybe that will bring a little more joy to the world than talking about music marketing. At least it might bring more joy to me. And it's all about me.